Hey folks, what's going on? Welcome to the next episode in the Coach Gav podcast. Um, got a bit of a longer drive today, so episode's probably going to be about 20-30 minutes. Um, nice wintry November day. So yeah, as you can see, we're layers on layers on layers. Yeah, it's great. Was watching a show there today, this morning. It's one of those SAS Who Dares Wins. It's the American version of it, so I think it's like World's Toughest or something. I can't. I think it's World's Toughest Team or World's Toughest Task Force or something. And I love those shows. That particular, there's a US, UK, and an Australian one, and they generally get celebrities on, put them through the ringer, and try to find that balance of recreating SAS selection but also getting like a really good TV show out of it too. And there was two things in this episode that kind of jumped out at me. Now, way back, I did a very, very, very tiny replication of some of that. It was on an unleashed course I did. It was a 48-hour kind of event designed to peel back the layers. It was a self-development, self-exploration thing. It's fantastic. One of the best things I've ever done. It was a real turning point for me, but also for kind of me and Yolanda. Kind of, we were newly dating at the time and everything as well. So I have a very small sample size of can kind of see what they're going through. But anyways, there's two things in it. So they're at the kind of like second last stage, and one of the contestants on it, she had said her biggest fear was making it to the end and then being told she still wasn't good enough to have passed the course. So if you had basically endured all the physical, mental, emotional battering for the 8 days, I believe they film it over. If you've gone through all that and you've gotten to the end, just to be told that you still haven't made the grade, you still haven't passed, she was basically hinting at she would rather quit before getting to the end of it, rather than getting to the end only to find out wasn't good enough. And I thought it was quite an interesting kind of way to say it, and I think that's can be the case for a lot of us unknowingly, where there's a part of us where we'd rather just fold now than get to the end and not necessarily be told we're not good enough, because in real life, or in the majority of real life situations, getting any kind of result is, or going through any process, there will be a result at the end of it. There will be something to come away from it. So if you do your journaling, every day for 30, 60, 90 days, or you're working on your meditation, you're working on your physical training, getting in shape, your fitness, your nutrition, your mindset, working on your business, there will be an outcome, there will be a result. It may not be the result you want, but there is a result with it. So again, she was afraid to get to the end and not make it. But the flip side of that is she will have made it through the course and will have overcome and endured everything on it. So, okay, you didn't get signed off as in, making the grade for the selection, but you'll have shown a resilience and a determination. So, just because you don't get what is, I suppose, perceived to be the only result, as in this case, you didn't make selection, doesn't mean there's not a result at all, And of course, when we approach any goal or any situation in life, you want to get the goal, you want to get the result. If the girls are playing a match, you want to perform well, you want to play well, and then if in a team-based sport, if enough of you play well, you get to win. So this is something kind of I've spoken to Freya about a lot with, slightly less with Mila because she's not at that stage, but it's definitely something that kind of will have to be kind of taught to her, that there's more to progression and growth than just say winning the match. And even for myself, we're trying to actually launch and actually give it a kind of remove the safety net career wise and really make a stronger push with Unbeatable for parents, for families, into schools, to really give it a go and to persist with the podcast and the social media campaigns and the book, Unbeatable Playbook, all these things. It's to really kind of give it a go and kind of to work towards it. But there's so many of us that will do that, where we will, again, on the show, she said her biggest fear would be getting to the end and basically being told she wasn't good enough. So she would rather quit before that. And sometimes that's where we're afraid that we're not good enough. We're afraid that our effort and our work rate and our output, it's not going to be good enough. And good enough is a really wide-ranging phrase, or a wide in capturing. It could be so many different things. And that is something to kind of keep in mind and kind of keep in consideration. So, good enough for what? Good enough for other people outside of our family circle? Good enough for the people we work with? Good enough for the people we work for? Good enough for extended family, extended social circle? Good enough for direct family, people that we're very close to, people whose opinions we value? Good enough for ourselves? And that's, really it. I'm afraid that my effort, I'm afraid that my ability, I'm afraid that my character, my personality, I'm afraid that that's not good enough. Good enough for who? Good enough in what way? And the third little thing to consider is it good enough in look at by the truck? Is it good enough, or is it a case that it is good enough? We're just using we're just using an incorrect way of judging the success of something. And maybe that's it. Maybe it's, there's an old phrase of, before you spend your time climbing the ladder, make sure you're climbing the right one. So don't go wasting your time and effort getting to the top of the wrong ladder, getting ahead in the wrong situation that you're in. So again, sticking with this main point, so that she was afraid she would get told she wasn't good enough. We in our lives, not good enough. I worry a lot about how good of a person I am, how good of a father I'm being, how good of a husband I'm being, how good of a son, how good of a brother. And even those 5 things there, long before I worry about, how good I was at jiu-jitsu, or how good I am at, you know, lifting weights, or how good I am at teaching swimming lessons. So there's 8 things already. 9, being, a health and fitness coach. Kind of all those different areas. That can be a lot to worry about. Um, and I think we all have those. And it's natural to have these concerns. It's natural to have these worries where we do kind of go back and forth on whether oh yeah, we do, are we enough? And when you start kind of to take that 10,000 foot view down on things, we've spoken in the past about looking out windows and mirrors. When you're looking out the window, you're only seeing what's outside. You're only seeing outside of yourself, outside of your situation, outside of you, and everything out there is comparison. They're doing that different. That's different than what I have. That's different than what I can do. As opposed to looking in the mirrors, and then you're looking at what you're doing. And that's where the comparison is. Is my effort today good enough to match or better my effort yesterday, or the day before, or the last time I was in this situation? Is my effort better? Is my effort good enough this time compared to that time? And that's kind of what we need to look at. So then it's the fear, often the what's the right word? The unsubstantiated, it's the silly fear of not being good enough that makes us throw in the towel. Or more commonly, oh yeah, well, you're self-sabotaging from the point of view of we're not putting our best foot forward. We're inconsistent with the efforts to achieve the goals we want to achieve. There's a fear that, and that's one of the things, if we're being honest here, is that one of the things why it's taken so long, like this idea of Unbeatable and this program that we're trying to build and fill out, this isn't anything new. This has been, I've had this since I had my gym, which is closed down 6, 7 years ago. Yeah, -6 next month. So yeah, nearly 7 years ago since I closed it down. And since then, there's just the space that I'm trying to position myself in has gotten so crowded. It's put me off because I am worried that my program, it's not going to be good enough. And then my worry is that I put the majority of my eggs in this basket of becoming, an impactful, successful, coach, that I put my eggs in the basket, and then it backfires when it comes to my my goal as a father and a husband to provide security and stability for my girls, and to lead by example. And that's what it is. It's come into. I mean, I know the program itself works. I'm living proof of it. But also, again, we ran an in-person facility for 6 years with a really shitty, marketing campaign and really shitty management systems. So that's where it kind of comes down to, guys and girls, is that so the fear of not being good enough, um, or the concern about not being good enough. It can be a motivation, it can be a fear, it can be many, many things. So we're going to wrap it on that. maybe that's what's actually causing this. You know, in Coach Carter, there's a basketball film years back, um, and Samuel L. Jackson spends a whole movie um, asking the young guys on the basketball team, you know, what's your deepest fear, what's your deepest fear, what's your deepest fear. And at the start, they're like, oh, you know, kind of skitting and joking. And then they actually realize it's a quote from, I think, a poem or a book years ago. And it says, our greatest fear, oh, Christ. No, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to find that now. And I'll start off the next episode. I think it's because I don't want to. Our greatest fear is not. It's not. Basically, our greatest fear isn't like our darkness, but our light. No. Gonna wrap it here. Gonna find a quote. We'll start off the next episode with it. Cheers, folks. If you enjoyed it, you want to get in the conversation, drop a comment below, or give us a shout on any of our social platforms, and I'll talk to you soon.